So, what would you like to see this flipped classroom project do for our school? What would you like to do?
Okay, I would like the pilot program to become an example so that we could use this in other classes throughout the building. I think with personalized learning, I think this is the way the district's going to go with our race to the top. So I believe that it's the stem for work to come, okay? And I think student involvement is wonderful. I would love to see that become something that's normal, not just an STLP project, but something that our students do through our technology program all the way. And I would like to see it in all classes, but eventually.
Okay.
What advice would you give us to improve in this project?
Oh gosh, that's a hard one because I've only watched a couple of the films. So at this time, I don't know. We can always improve. What do you all feel like needs to be improved?
When the students come back to school to do practice work with it, I think we need to have like a more fun activity that's more appealing to the students.
Okay, something that will engage them more
Yeah.
after they've watched the videos at home.
Yeah.
Okay. Engagement is key. If we don't get our students engaged in learning, learning doesn't happen. So I agree with that. That's a good goal to have.
Do you have any questions for us about our project?
No, tell me how many. I know you've done how many?
I've done about
films.
7 or 8 maybe.
7 or 8.
Something
I've
like
watched a
that.
couple of them. Have you all used them?
Yes, and
Okay.
Ms.
What do you
Osborne's
think?
first hour math class.
What do you think as a student? Not as a filmer, not as an STLP person, but what do you think as a student?
Well, our class hasn't watched them.
You
The
haven't
first
watched
hour
any of
is,
them?
because
Okay.
the first hour is the flipped classroom.
Okay.
But I've heard from people in the first hour class that like they liked the part where Dylan Cobb came in on the green screen and explained it in a
Oh.
version that's like easier for us to understand.
So more student involvement
Yeah.
in the
They
lessons.
thought it was funny how you rolled in and said, "Hold up, Miss Osborne."
I did too. I thought that was
Ms.
cute.
Osborne said that her students are wanting to help with the videos.
Good. So it might branch out to not just being an STLP group, but a classroom project.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Well, I applaud you. I heard great things today.
Now, Janelle, do you want to tell her that you're taking this a little farther now?
Yeah, we're putting Spanish into it because the students who come here, some of them aren't always fluent in English and they don't understand some words. So that's where I can translate it into them because Mr. Stafford said that about 5% of the students in Owen County are in ESL, and that will help the parents too.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Because our students are more fluent than some of our parents. And parents get very frustrated when they don't understand. And I think that's another key to just the flipped classroom because parents can understand better to help their students with work if they see the actual lesson instead of a child bringing home a piece of paper or an assignment and saying, I don't know what they were talking about. So I think it's a resource for parents too. I applaud you. Good job.
Do you want me to tear off the bottom of this?
That'd be super.
Okay.
You have a pencil?
Every math teacher has a pen. Okay, so Ryson?
Yep.
And what grade are you in, Ryson?
I'm in 7th grade.
Okay. How do you spell your name?
RYSON.
Okay. Are you all in 7th? All of you in 7th grade?
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
My name is Dylan Cobb,
Okay.
DYLAN.
D-Y-L-A.
Yes, sir.
All right. And what's your last name, Ryson?
Neely.
Neely. Okay.
NEELEY.
Okay. All right.
Allie
Hallie and
A-L-L-I.
oh, I. All right. And your last name?
G-I-L-L.
Gill. Okay.
My name is Janelle Agaswell.
Janelle. 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 E. Okay. And
H-E-B-A-Z-U-L.
A-G-U.
A-Z-U-L.
A-Z-U-L. To people struggle to pronounce your last name. I went through all of school, and I had a teacher who never once pronounced my name correctly. So, for me, the G is silent. So It's like the Hudson River, just with an O. So it's Hodgson. Uh-huh.
Hodgson?
So it's
Okay.
easier than Hodgson.
Do you prefer to be called Dr. Hodgson or Professor?
Mr. or Doctor. Mr's fine. All right. Okay, so I understand you have some interview questions for me?
Yes, sir.
Terrific.
Okay, well, my first question is, what advice or tips can you give us to improve our project?
Tell me more about your project first.
Well, our project is called Flip Classroom. It's where, like, say we miss for a snow day or something, we had already put up videos, and the students can get online and look up those videos on YouTube or on Instagram, and we put it in a kid-friendly way to where they'd understand it and still get the concept.
I've seen a few of the things you've done, so I'm excited. What are you finding now? Have they started watching your things?
Yes, they just started a couple of days ago.
Okay. And what problems are you seeing? I mean, how would you assess how it's going? Or any of you? So,
I think it's going pretty well. I mean, a lot of the kids, I think they understand it a lot better when we put it in different. And
I like your idea about putting it in kid-friendly terms too. So I think that's a great idea. What do you? And in terms of what's happened thus far, what would you improve? I mean, I have some ideas, but I don't know if it might not be happening. So, yeah.
I think that we should maybe make it more appealing to the students, like maybe funny or something that the students enjoy.
I think that's a great idea. I have a teacher up at Boone County High School who's in the project, and he embeds. I don't know how he does it. He's a techno whiz, so he embeds little sort of like transformer like people in his videos. So they're like walking through and they'll come and talk to him. So he's in there, but his little transformers are in there as well. So I don't know how he does it. I mean, I will have to get him to share a little bit more, but I like your idea about making it entertaining. We have other teachers that will put in little games. So they'll put in a hidden word or something like that, and it just gives something to capture the students' attention. So that's okay. Great ideas. I did see. Who was it? Was it you that popped into Miss Osborne's video?
yeah, so we used the green screen on that, and we took like a screenshot and then put it on the green screen, and then we walked in.
Can you, if you have time, can you show me how you guys do that?
Yes.
I'd love to
Sure.
see it.
Okay. Yes.
All right. How about, what do you do for students? So this is the big question we have in our project. What do you do for students that don't have access to the internet?
And we have thought about that a lot, and
Good.
like we have flash drives and like CDs that we're gonna burn, and that people can take home and take to the library. And we've thought about making like packets for kids that don't have internet access. So.
I think that's terrific. You guys have all the answers. This is great. This is terrific. That's the big issue is how do you get students to watch? Because like anything else, if they're not going to do their homework, they're going to come to class and not know what they're doing. So we view this as their homework, and it gives them a sense of when, like what happened in the class I observed just the first period. The students had watched the video. Almost all of them had. I was very impressed. And Miss Osborne didn't need to spend so much time going over the basics, and she could get a little deeper. And that's one of the ideas.
And when you said like if they don't watch the video, we've started incorporating like I remember one video Miss Osborne wiped her nose with like a blue handkerchief, and then on the post test it was going to be what color handkerchief did Miss Osborne have.
All right.
Like that way we know they watch the video.
That's a little tool. Another thing that some teachers are doing, which again I know you all are you're the student technology leadership team. I think that's terrific. I think that's great. Some teachers they're mostly high school, but what they're doing is they're embedding a little quiz in the video. There's some software that allows you to, in the middle of your video, it will stop, and there'll be like on your screen will appear multiple choice question, and you have to click on the answer that you think is right, And then what it does is it sends an email to the teacher when they've done that. So it's a way to, again, a way to make sure that students are watching the videos. If you get if you get a report after, if 20 out of the 30 people, you'll get 20 grades on that one question. So that's another way that you can make sure people are watching.
Also, like, for some of our students, their parents don't speak English,
Mm-hmm.
and
that's where I come in.
Okay.
I help students who don't speak fluently or English, and so I can help them understand it, and I can speak it in Spanish.
Oh,
And
that's
we've
terrific.
made a few videos,
Mhm.
a math video and an English video.
And I think that helps teachers so much because not all teachers are fluent in Spanish. Or I have a teacher that I work with in Washington, D.C., and she said in their school there are over 40 languages that are spoken. So not just Spanish, but various languages. And I think it's going to continue to, as we get more and more people from different countries in our country, I think that that's something that we need. I love your idea about making it accessible in their native language. So that's terrific.
Next question. Okay. Is there any specific technology that would be useful or creative for our project and our flipped classroom idea?
You can tell me what I love the green screen. That's, I'll pat you all on the back. My brother-in-law is essentially vice president of the law school at Northwestern, okay? And Northwestern University is one of the premier colleges in the country. It's like Harvard. You've heard of Harvard, obviously. He just received $1 million grant to flip law school classrooms. And the technology he's using is your green screen technology. So I think you all are, you're on the cutting edge in terms of producing the videos. Most people are finding that the students want to see their teachers some. They don't, they like Khan. Have you seen Khan Academy videos?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't see Khan, his name's Sal Khan. You just see the writing he does on the screen. At the middle and high school level, that works okay, but it seems like the students want to see their teachers some. And that's something you can do with the green screen. So I'm very anxious afterwards, if you have the time, sort of walk me through. So you can teach me. I haven't used the green screen much. I know a little bit about it, but I'm anxious to see how you popped into Ms. Osborne's video. All right, just jumped in the middle of it, holding a whiteboard, said, "Wait a minute." And there it was. Other than that, I think there's, like you said, there's just different tools to make it interesting for students. There are some tools where you can make your own cartoons and embed them, and you can do a cartoon video. So just things like that. But as you know, technology changes so fast. It's like what's available this month, well, there's going to be twice as much available next month. So I think what you're doing is absolutely right. You're doing green screens. How are you? I saw on one of the videos that you had some basically you had some slides coming in. Did you do that with movie making? So you can get out and teach my class for me. All right.
They may need to go to Chicago.
Yeah, I think so, exactly. With $1 million, take some of that $1 million grant. I think that's great.
Okay.
Okay?
Do you like the idea of student involvement in the flipped classes?
Oh, I think it's when it works the best. There's a project in North Carolina, which is what we based our project on. When you talk to your teachers share ideas. They come up with what they hope are good ideas, and then they share them with other teachers. So there's a project in North Carolina, and it was in all of central North Carolina, something like 30 schools. And their emphasis was getting students involved. And that's what they found really got other students involved. When it wasn't a teacher project per se, but there were students who were producing videos like you all done. I understand that you have incorporated this into foreign languages, was in science, and you've decided you're going to just help all teachers flip their classes.
We've done language arts. We've done 2 language arts.
We've done
segments,
diagramming
too.
sentences and characters, different types of characters.
What feedback are you getting?
We haven't, well, we've posted those on YouTube, but
Mhm.
like our language arts teacher hasn't actually showed them the video and made them take it home and like watch it.
Okay.
So, but I think it's actually going to work a lot because
Mhm.
Allie and Janelle, they both, they have a video together on the diagramming sentences, and
Uh-huh.
one's in Spanish and one's in English, so like they'll translate.
If you can give to Ms. Osborne, if you can give me your links to your videos, I'd like to take a look at them.
That's great.
We also
Fine.
have QR codes for each of our videos.
Okay.
So we'll give you the links, but I was just saying you can get it by QR code.
So QR codes, you need to help me out there. So.
Yeah, like the-
It's the squares.
Oh,
that
oh,
are
yeah, yeah,
black
yeah.
and
So it's
white
like the, okay.
pixels.
Yeah, exactly. So now, I'll be honest, I don't have an iPhone yet. See, but I understand that. Now, do you like using the QR codes to get to the videos?
It's a
Yeah.
faster way
It makes it
to
interesting too.
access it.
Makes it cool.
Absolutely. Because if you give people a long link, especially the YouTube links that have, at the end, they have like, YZ2646, all it, and people invariably mistype that. So if they can just scan it in with their iPhone, it's a great idea. I think we are gonna have to bring them to Chicago. All right.
Alright, so what is your goal in using this flipped classroom, and how can we help you in achieving this goal?
Well, I think you're helping a great deal right now, and what you're doing is that first of all, you're taking responsibility for it, but I think when other students see not just their teachers doing the work, but when they see that students are producing the videos, they want to get involved in that. Ms. Osborne at the end of her class asked the same question of her regular 7th grade class. She said, how many of you would like to produce these videos? And I think virtually all the hands shot up. Because it's more fun for them to be involved in doing it themselves. I think what you're doing, just in being involved and taking leadership and helping your other teachers, I'm going to put you on my payroll. So, overall, the goal is exactly what you all have identified. First of all, I think that it makes it accessible to students. Some students learn at different rates, and sometimes it takes not just looking at something one time to get it. With the video, they can look at it several times. They can go back and say, oh, I didn't quite get that problem. How'd you do that? And they can look at a video several times, and they don't need to sort of feverishly take notes. They can just look at the video again 2 or 3 times and get a better understanding. It also frees up class time. If they watch their videos ahead of time, in education, as you all are probably discovering, what tests do you take this year? Do you take the
K-Prep.
K-Prep,
And
okay.
maps.
And maps, okay. And do you take, in 7th grade, so next year you'll probably take the
Explore.
Explorer,
Don't we take a practice explorer too?
and that's just the beginning. You're gonna have more and more. So there's more and more stuff that, the body of things you have to learn are getting bigger. And so what this does is it sort of frees up class time that your teachers can get into the things that you need to know if you can do some of the basics with the video at home.
And even though we're like only 7th grade, we can still like start practicing for the ACT and like
Absolutely.
working toward.
And like how you were saying about how all the students in our classroom to do that.
Mhm.
Well, in our pre-algebra class, one of our assignments that we done was they were assigned an assignment, one of our lessons, and they had to come up with a creative way to, teach it to us, and that's what we've been working on.
Well, I have an invitation for the 4 of you, if you'd like to. We have a project blog, and we just have it started. There's a teacher up in Simon Kenton High School is running the blog, and what we're doing is we're getting people who are doing this, different teachers, to be guest bloggers. So would you all be interested in writing a guest blog? Not ongoing, just an entry of what you're doing here, and describe what you're doing, and maybe put some links into, so the other teachers can go see what you're doing. So I think what Ms. Osborne and the 4 of you are doing is innovative, and other teachers will want to know they'd love to see how they're getting their students involved. And so just share what you're doing, what have been the challenges, what's going really well. But I think you guys are doing terrific work.
Okay. Next question. What improvements can we make for our flipped classroom?
What improvements? Okay, so what are you doing? So with flip, I view the flipped classroom as sort of a three-part process. The first part is the video. That's just one part of it. The second part is what do you have with the video? For example, if you just tell a student to go watch a video, you know, they're not necessarily going to be paying attention to the video. They might be there texting on their phone, or they might be petting their dog, or, you know, how do you get them focusing on the video? So we have the video itself, what you want them to do while they're watching the video, maybe taking notes, maybe preparing for a quiz, and then what do you do in the classroom? So the flipped classroom is not just the video, but there's three parts to it. So I think the part where most improvements needed is what you're doing in the classroom. So if you have a video for the foreign language teacher, for the science teacher, what would you tell them to do so students watch the video? How would you follow up on that?
Well, we have them take notes.
Okay.
Osborne has them send home notes, and throughout the video, if they're paying attention, we'll mention definitions and examples of the notes.
And blue handkerchiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. And then how do you follow up on that? How would you like the teachers to follow up on that when they come back to the classroom?
Maybe take like a quick pop quiz or something.
Okay. So you're thinking, these are the things, so there's not just for improvements, it's not just one thing, it's really three areas you have to work on. How can you make the notes that go along with the video better? How can you make the video itself more engaging, more entertaining? And then what do you want teachers to do? Do you like the pop quiz, but also maybe an activity to go along with it? So I think when you're talking about improvement, think beyond the video. Think, how is this thing going to be used? It's like any piece of technology, any program that you write. You know, the program itself is a thing, and then as you are a student technology leaders, then there's the users that use the program. So you don't just think about the program, you think about the user interface, so to speak. How do you get the user to use it in a way that you want him or her to use it? I think think the videos are great, how can you make them engaging? Then what do they do with the video, and then what does the teacher do with the video? Think of it as a three-part process.
And we actually do a lot of activities in Miss Osborne's class and Miss Moore's class or science.
Now, are you all in pre-algebra?
Yeah.
Okay, terrific. All right.
We actually have 2 teachers for pre-algebra, so
Okay.
we're hoping that we can get our other teacher, Mr. Keltner. We've been working with him some, but we're
That's
going to get some
great.
of his videos too.
Okay, all right, do that. And, you know, I can't emphasize enough, the more that you get the students involved, because then we have a middle grades teacher at Carroll County, and she was struggling. She initially tried it, and she was struggling, and then she had the idea that you all are doing. She said, I'm going to get my students to produce the videos. And all of a sudden, you know, as a student, when I'm producing it, and there's something that we learn as teachers, and that is that you learn, okay, so these are ballpark numbers. You learn 10% of what you just hear. So if you're just listening, you generally you retain about 10% of that information. If you're doing some activity, something hands-on, and you're engaged, you learn about 50%. If you're actually having to teach something, you learn about 90%. So the more you can get students doing the teaching, so students producing the videos, just think how well, when you have to produce a video, how well you learn that material, because you're going to teach it to others. So I think the more you can get other students doing the teaching, the better success you'll have.
In our pre-algebra class, there's like, right now, the lesson we're doing, there's like a bunch of different kids in groups, and they're all teaching a different part of the class.
That's
And
great.
We're trying to help them with the technology and things like that.
You guys are, like I said, I want to hold you on retainer, which means we do have a project so we may have some work for you if you're interested. We have a project that's potentially going to be funded working with schools in eastern Kentucky. And they have very high poverty and they have problems with access. So, you know, the things the issues that are occurring here are magnified in Hazard, Kentucky and other places out east. So, I, would definitely want your advice when we get ready to, if we get ready to start that project. They're hopefully going to fund the project, but if we do, we'll definitely be coming to you for some funds.
What kinds of videos have you seen that would like get the kids' attention and engagement to make them?
Well, I think I mean, what you all are doing, I mean, I love the fact that you're popping into videos. I love the fact that you put in little sort of nuggets, things that they, not just the mathematics, but things that keep the kids' attention. I think a variety, like anything else. No one likes to do the same thing day after day. So I think having, I don't know how he does it because I haven't. I mean, he's my teacher in Boone County. But if the students get through the video and they then they complete the assessment that goes with the video, then they get to watch the robots do something. And they're so excited about getting to watch the robots do something that it motivates them to want to watch the video and get through their assessment. So I think combining it, I mean, learning isn't all about having fun, but I think a truism is that everyone likes to have fun while they're learning. So if you can make it fun while also helping them learn, I think you can be real successful.
And another idea we had was like there's a banking lesson. Like we thought, well, we could go to one of our banks in our community and like we were gonna talk to like whoever is in charge. And we were gonna go interview them and like, talk about how math is used in the world.
Maybe you can since you can splice things in with Movie Maker, have them lead in the video. So, hey, students, today we're going to do this, which so you can bring in different sort of guest lecturers into the videos. I think that's a great idea.
And another idea, we were going to go in our energy lesson and go to the football field and like kind of like make an example of going up like 10 yards and then coming back like 7 and then
that's
making
positives and negatives and that's great. I like it.
Last question. Do you have any more comments about this method or advice to give us?
questions.
I'm very impressed. So I think you all are doing wonderful work. I actually sent out a note this morning to my staff and evaluator and the director of a big agency down at Frankfurt in the state government, telling what you all are doing. So I think just keep reflecting on what you're doing, because what you can share with Ms. Osborne and me, is how can we make it better? And that's what I want to know. And you all are the individuals that we want to reach the most. How can we, when you find things that you find are working with your classmates, share them with Ms. Osborne, share them with me, and then we will share them with other teachers. Because that's the goal, is taking this beyond Owen County, and how can you take what you've learned and move it outside of Owen County, maybe outside of Kentucky. So, how would you do that? Have you ever thought that that's what you're doing? That you're actually building a base of knowledge which can go beyond Owen County, beyond northern Kentucky, out to other schools and teachers throughout the state and the nation.
And our YouTube account can be accessed by anybody. Anywhere, like needing any help.
And then like our Instagram, we've already set up throughout the classes our username for it, so they could get on there, because that's another way we're going to...
Can you show me your Instagram account when we, because I don't think any, as you'd expect, would your teachers be on Instagram?
Maybe.
Some of them.
Facebook, they're on Facebook still?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We have a 7th grade Facebook page.
Yeah.
7th grade.
All right, well, but Instagram is, I understand Instagram's where it's at.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's good. All right.
And another way we're gonna make it the videos more accessible was we haven't really started on this yet, but we had this idea. My dad, he's an IT manager on electric, and he knows how to make apps. And he's going to teach us how to make an app using Xcode
That's
on
terrific.
a MacBook. And so we could put the videos on there and students could download the app. And
Now, I know you all are a little bit, you have quite a few years before you get ready for college. Are you thinking about college yet?
Definitely.
What do you want to do?
I want to be a pharmacist.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm just kind of browsing.
I want to be like an athletic trainer or a zoologist.
Okay.
I'm thinking about being pediatrician.
Oh, terrific. So, 3 individuals in medicine, perhaps, or medical fields, and still shopping around.
He's browsing.
Well, we still have college students shopping around too, so they say that the average number of times you're going to change your major in college is 3. So, you tend to go in as one thing, but then you take different courses, and so I really didn't know I loved astronomy, and so you become an astronomist. Okay.
We have a few questions for you.
All right.
Okay. So, where would you like us to take this flip classroom in the future for our district, not just the subject?
Well, I think that you're setting a model and an example, and working with teachers over the last 2 decades, they really need to see something happen. They need to be able to if we want to make changes in our school, one of the most powerful things we can do is take our teachers and go see what's going on. Yesterday, we took a principal to another school district to look at data rooms. Your mom runs a data room. Your mom went with them so that they could get a visual of how things are operating. I think this is the example that we can use, that it can be done. It can be done well. It can be impactful, and it can make change in our district. And that's what we're working to do, is to change how our district operates. And it's not an easy thing. You just don't snap your fingers and have that happen. It's going to take several years. But we do have a plan in place that hopefully education at Owen County will look quite different over the next few years as we take our steps to make these changes.
Another question we have is, do you think the flipped classroom would be a good way of teaching missed lessons on snow days?
Or even like absences.
I think it has great potential. The camera systems, I think, have great potential for a lot of different reasons, but I also think that that is one of the things that we've discussed. Having access into different parts of our community is a struggle. In our southeastern part of the county, down towards Scott County, Grant County, the topography makes it difficult for access. We've looked at different ways of getting services to students and families that way. There are places there that I still don't have cell phone access. When I drive through, I have to come out and come to the top of a hill or something. But the community's looking at that also with our work-ready work that community leaders are doing. It does, but I think we have to also answer the question of having access for everyone so that everyone can benefit. Probably shouldn't hold us back from stepping out there and doing some things, and I think counties are. There's 10 or 12 in the state that have asked to have sort of a modified snow day schedule, but it is something we're looking at. I think it has potential that we can possibly say, okay, we're out for school today, but lessons are out there. It's part of our overall philosophy to personalize learning over the next several years for students anytime, anywhere learning. So it is a step that we probably need to take here in the next couple of years and start working through. But it's not just something you really jump into. You have to do some planning and arranging for that to take place.
And like Miss Osborne said last year, when we had so many snow days like in a row. It was like we were here for 2 days, we were gone
Right.
for a week, and she said she felt like she kept reteaching the same lesson because she didn't really get it like taught very well until we missed school for another
Right.
week. So she said like if we were gone for a week, maybe if we had a video of the lesson that she was trying to teach, then like they could just refresh on it.
I think it all has great potential for us to change how we think about school and learning, and it doesn't take place and shouldn't always take place inside the walls of school. That we need to think beyond that, and that's a tough thing. That's a paradigm shift for us older folks to think that school, you all don't learn everything at school. You learn it through activities, you learn it through travel, you learn it, and but we seem to still have in our mind that education takes place at 7:55, 3 o'clock, and it doesn't. And so that's a hard thing to, and there are structures and things in place that make it difficult to do that because of laws that need to be changed and regulations that need to be changed. And we as adults need to rethink how you learn and how you learn best. And it's not always here and in a classroom, at a desk, with a book.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions or comments?
No, I can't tell you how proud I am of you. Dr. Hodgson is my teacher also, and I know he's a fantastic, one of the most fantastic teachers I've ever had. So for him to come in and be impressed and to really give you a pat on the back and some encouragement to continue on is not hollow. I can tell you that it's you should take that and build on that. But I'm proud of a lot of things our students are doing here at this middle school. And you all have been out there with things with your STLP. We've always done well with STLP at the middle school. You know, you've got Leader in Me things. All these pieces are different pieces that we're trying to put in place to really change the whole way we go about education. It's not the end result. It's just one step that we're putting in place each year, or a couple of things each year, to then say, let's change things. Let's think about you could be on a beach, and you could be learning, and you could be taking a class, and you could be communicating with a teacher.
Actually, that's what my brother-in-law, they're flipping their law school classes for, these are people who graduated college, and after you go to 4 years of college, you go to law school for 3 years. And so he's essentially the vice president of the law school. But he said, our students they'll get internships, and so maybe their internships, they'll have a job, or a summer job where they're working in Washington, D.C. And we want them to be able to sit on, the metro, the subway in D.C. We want them to be able to sit on the metro in Washington and be able to do their course. So it's not just doing it in the classroom in Northwestern, it's doing it wherever they want to.
I read an article several years ago, and the student, I think, was in northern Kentucky, in Boone County, I believe. But anyway, she had pursued a modeling career as a high school student. And so they did an interview with her, and she's in Italy pursuing modeling and finishing her high school degree at Boone County. You see? So with the world that we see now and that you will experience through your lifetime, there's no reason that can't happen for Owen Countyans who so desire to do that. So that when you leave out of high school here, and some things that we've put in place this year is that you'll have a lot more access to college-level coursework, college-level experiences before you ever get out of high school. But when I went to college, it's when I went on a college campus. It was the first time I'd been on a college campus, probably anyone in my family. We want you all to feel very comfortable that you can go out and pursue whatever occupation, career that you want to pursue at any institution that you so choose to go to for higher education or more education, and be very competitive and successful with that.
So I'd also like to turn it around to you all. I'm gonna be the interviewer here for a second. What would you like to accomplish?
I think we'd like to spread it not only throughout this school and this county, but to like other bigger counties like Boone and Kenton, and because I haven't heard of a lot of like Kenton County, and my mom's actually the assistant principal at an elementary school in Kenton County, so I think we could.
Which one?
White's Tower.
Okay, sure. It's right down the street from me. What's her name?
Michelle Pop.
Okay, all right, great. I'll stop and say hi.
And I think that maybe we want to try to get more subjects in school instead of just math and science and language arts. We haven't done much language arts or science. We've done a couple videos, but I think we want to go in more depth with those.
Have you thought about, you're in 7th grade, so you'll be soon beginning to the high school. Have you thought about bringing this with you up to the high school?
Yes,
Yes.
There's one teacher at the high school that is doing this, but they're not implementing it with the students. They're
Okay.
implementing it.
And there's also an STLP program at the high school as well, so
Terrific.
that we can still carry over.
And of course, I think that the idea of bringing in new languages to others who don't have access to, like understanding the language, I think that would be making it much easier for them and their
Absolutely.
parents.
What percentage of students here are ESL as a second language?
We're going to have about 4.5% are Hispanic.
Okay.
5%, let's say 5%, and that's actually our largest minority ethnic group.
Well, that was
our
one of
Hispanic population. Yeah.
one of the struggles in Carroll County last year. Last year was the first year we implemented this. Was that they had a number of ESL students, and so the teacher was focused on producing his videos, but it didn't help the ESL students necessarily, the Spanish-speaking students. I love your idea about producing the videos in Spanish as well. I mean, that's terrific.
Yeah, and sometimes the students can speak fluent English and Spanish, but then the parents sometimes aren't real fluent with English.
Yeah.
And so if the videos are in Spanish, maybe they could, if the student has a question about the math or something on there, they can help them because it's in the language that they're learning.
I think that's a great idea. Really, really impressed. Do we have time for you to show me your green screen?
We have to go downstairs to the